Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. You've got the live Miami coral cam up there. And take a look at that. That's called a grunt here in South Florida. And it's kind of part of the snapper family. A lot of people would eat those. People still eat them today. They call it breakfast, grunts and grits for breakfast. But very bony. But again, part of the snapper family. And there he is just picking away at whatever he is picking away at down there. They eat everything. Pretty day out there too. I don't know what that is. But let's get into markets. And we'll discuss yesterday's video and a few other things, some points I kind of want to hammer home today, which is about dollar strength and the illusion of dollar strength. And another great quote here, and I got it from von Greyerz, I think, off a ZH article. So I got to give credit where credit's due, and I like the quote, "Paper is poverty. It is only the ghost of money and not money itself." Thomas Jefferson from IZ Quotes, which is usually pretty reliable, so I believe he probably said that. Although there's a lot of misattributed quotes out there that are pretty good. I believe this one is right. So paper is poverty. It's just a ghost of money, not money itself. Our founding fathers knew this. This is why they said that Congress shall issue really no other money than gold and silver. And then in 1913, we got sold a bill of goods, by the bankers. We got ripped off by the bankers again, and here we sit. Let's take a look at spot prices. See what's going on, man. Up today, $25, but we still got tomorrow, Friday, so there's potential monkey hammering that's could happening tomorrow. I still don't trust these markets. I don't trust these COMEX markets at all. They're Globex, they're NYMEX, whatever the hell, CRIMEX you want to call them. I personally don't trust them at all. That's just my opinion, and a lot of people smarter than me don't trust them either. I don't think these commercial shorts are done with their monkey hammering in any of these markets, no less. In order to make money, they have to let it go back up again before they short it out and drive it back down. This is like a rinse and repeat collusive behavior, according to Mr. Butler and other people, again, smarter than myself, and it's my opinion as well. 1811, the low overnight. Take a look at that. That's pretty crazy. That's the world spot prices. And New York is open, and obviously that's what we're looking at right now in New York prices. But 1811, the low, overnight low, probably yesterday. Or last night. I'm not even quite sure where we dipped to that level. Sitting at 1849 right now. I think the stock market yesterday and a lot of other things are starting to sink in. Gold has gotten a good bid, so has silver. And again, we'll take a look at the 24-hour charts here in just a moment. Let's move over to silver. Again, wide range, knocked on that $22 door today. $21.31 to $22. The high currently sitting near that high at $21.88 per ounce, and platinum 907.42 the low, almost knocking on sub $900 low there. Let's take a look. Boy, I didn't see that yesterday either. And a high at 950, that provided another good buy because, man, I think platinum is super cheap in my opinion. 950 the high, and currently sitting at platinum's high. So platinum is leading the way. Look at that, up 29 bucks, considering it's almost less than half the price of gold. That's not bad at all. Good percentage gain. And poor palladium just getting hammered there, man. I'm sure it has something to do with industrial concerns or manufacturing concerns, and probably something have to do with automotive, the industry and all that stuff. But palladium really getting, let's see, monkey hammered for sure. I remember, I think, what was it, in the last year, this metal was close to, what, 3,000, 4,000 an ounce, while gold was sitting around that 1,900, 2,000 at the most. But take a look at it now. Again, I don't speculate on palladium, don't know enough about it. Platinum, I speculate just a little bit, in my opinion, because I've known the metal for a long time. It's one of the metals we trade with, even though we don't do near as much as we do in gold and silver. So let's take a look at the 24-hour chart, see what we got going on. And I'm going to kind of hit the refresh on that and do a plus and blow up that screen a little bit. There we go. Wow, kind of interesting. Looks like as far as gold goes, it really started copping the upside here last night in the evening during the New York Globex markets. And take a look at that, up, even continuing into the NYMEX markets. Typically we've seen most of our monkey hammering in precious metals in the last month or so done in these overnight Globex markets, and also in the COMEX markets. Mid-afternoon too, typically was always in the morning. But again, and then it kind of steadies off in the rest of the afternoon and in the evening. But today we've got spot gold up quite a bit. And looks like, I bet, and of course, silver's going to follow that same path there. Overnight markets kind of drifted down a little bit. Looks like the 2130. But again, in the Globex overnight markets and in the New York Crimex today, we're up quite a bit. So not from the high, but touching 22, I think, at one point. Doesn't show it on the Kitco graph here, but and that's another thing we can discuss. The spot prices seem to be different depending on who you look at. Kitco is different than some of the other places that put spot prices out. And I'm not going to mention all the names because there's tons of places that get spot prices. But no less, there is slight discrepancies on these. Let's take a look at the stock market. And by the way, I'm really not quite sure what the reason is for today's up. You know, when I look at gold and silver, I kind of look at it as from a macro standpoint. And what is a macro standpoint? And I think I'm using the term right. A macro standpoint is looking at it from a long-term perspective. And long-term, you know, could be a matter of what you think is long-term, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50, 100, 5,000, whatever it is. But from a long-term perspective, gold prices on a historical chart, this is a 100-year chart. I mean, look, eventually we're just going to keep making new highs. I think we're back into a 1980 scenario. Look, here's 1980. Adjusted inflation. I showed you adjusted inflation silver yesterday. That was the title of yesterday's video, $132 silver. Some folks thought it was my prediction. No, folks, I think we're going to go above 132 at some point, but it wasn't really a prediction, and I don't like, you know, doing those predictive thumbnails. I do them occasionally, but overall I avoid them. But yesterday's thumbnail was about the 1980s price of silver adjusted for inflation was $132, and again we'll take a look at that chart. But meanwhile, here's the adjusted inflation price of gold, $2,434. So I mean, if gold was to reach 2,400 according to this chart, which uses official government data for its sources, you know, for inflation adjustments, probably even higher than this. But the official data says inflation adjusted is 2,434. Okay, and that would be gold. And look, February 1980. If you look down my line right there, is when that high would be. But we know that unadjusted, and let's see, let me do unadjusted. Ready? Take that off. There's your 1980 there. What was the high? It was higher than that. Damn it. I don't know where they get this number from, but I believe gold was as high as what, $800-900 per ounce at the time. But you know, we haven't even reached gold's adjusted inflation number for 1980, and I believe this is the environment. You see this 1971, and we're going to take a look at an article that talks about this. 1971 to the peak of gold prices in 1980. This is a really inflationary period for the United States. We were going through major gas issues. I mean, there were lines at gas stations too. Remember the OPEC deal and all that stuff. But no less, take a look at this. I think we're in a very similar environment. Also, we were in a inflationary environment because of our money. You know, we were just printing more and more money at the time as well. But no less, here is the last bull market in gold, which was 2012. I think they put the inflation-adjusted number around 2,200, still not meeting that 1980 high. And again, recently, not too long ago, we broke over that $2,000 mark as well, 2,200 in July 2020. But again, not reaching that inflation-adjusted high for 1984. I believe that you see this peak I'm looking at right here for gold. The most recent peak, July 2020, if you look down the chart right there, July 2020. I believe that peak could be, or these peaks right here could be this right here, what we're looking at. And maybe we'll see another downward spike. I'm kind of not thinking, I think we're in our upward trajectory right here. Maybe this is the spike right here we're looking at here. But I think we're going to see much higher gold prices for sure. You know, my thought's always been 2,500, but I believe when it really starts to take off, it's going to overshoot 2,500 by quite a bit. Again, that's just my opinion. Don't trade by my opinion, make your own. That's what I always say. And silver, same thing. Silver inflation-adjusted number. What I was talking about yesterday in yesterday's video for the thumbnail for yesterday's video was $132 silver. But inflation-adjusted, according to the official inflation-adjusted rates, 1980, that was the high, $132. If we use the same kind of parameters we're using today as far as adjusting for inflation. We still have never seen this inflation-adjusted high for silver, although we've seen it with gold, what, almost 3 times or near 3 times? Take a look at that. We've almost beat that inflation-adjusted 80s number, but here with silver, no. The high in silver, what, in $49 again. But remember, the high in silver was almost $49.50 in 1980. It's showing 132 here, but they're using inflation-adjusted numbers. I don't know how that works on the graph, but as you can see here, our last high of $50 per ounce, again, non-inflated number, would be this right here, $50 per ounce. And again, we still haven't hit that again since 2012, while gold has hit that near peak a couple times. All right. Where we go from here, I was kind of curious, and I want to take a look at the dollar index here. 102, give me 1 second here, 102.78. So the dollar index down. I talked yesterday, people saying, oh, the dollar strength, dollar strength. Well, dollar strength is only relative to this right here, folks. Where's my CPI graph there? This is what, there is no dollar strength, all right? This is what really the dollar is all about. Purchasing power by the consumer. Dollar in average U.S. city. They can spend dollar strength on DXY however they want. A lot of people misconstrue the dollar index as being, oh, wow, the dollar buys more now. I wish they'd stop using the word dollar strength, okay? It's just dishonest and disgenuine to most of the public that doesn't get what that really means. Dollar strength is only relative to a basket of other currencies. It means I like the term someone used, we're the least dirty shirt in the laundry, in the clean laundry, or I like to also refer to we're the last horse to the glue factory. But no less, there is no dollar strength, folks. Come on, give me a break. Look at this chart. The facts are here. This is a economic chart done by the government themselves, all right? Dollar strength, the DXY is just based on other currencies, which are doing far worse than us. So again, last horse to the glue factory, the cleanest shirt coming out of the laundry or whatever, out of all the dirty shirts. I forget how it was phrased, but it was pretty good. Dollar index down a little bit, no less, and this is not going to last long. And anyone thinks that, you know, we're looking at the Fed talking about raising rates. They're screwed, man. They can talk about raising rates to bring inflation down, but you know what they're really going to do is through the back doors, they're going to try to keep the cost of products down. They're going to try to keep the cost of oil down. They're going to try to keep the cost of basic metals down. That could include gold and silver, according to GATA, and you know, GATA believes that. So the things that manufacturers use to produce products is what the Fed will probably try to keep the price down by secretly, whatever the frick they do behind closed doors. But raising interest rates ain't going to work. We're already seeing housing market taking a shit. We're starting to take a shit right now because of the raise in rates. We're already seeing what's happening with the stock market because of the rise in rates, okay? So the Fed's stuck, man. They're going to have to do two things. They're going to have to let commodities and metals just fly through the roof. That includes oil, gold, silver, aluminum, you name, grain, obviously food too. Well, they may have no choice with food from what I'm reading, but they have no choice. So the only thing, well, I've always said it, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record going off into this, but I've always said that the Fed, since 1913, each of the Federal Reserve chairmen like Powell and Bernanke and all these guys that have gone past, Yellen and all these people, they're like the captains of the Titanic. And you can call it whatever ship you want. They're the captains of a ship that's taking a long time to sink, all right? But the captains all know, and the owners of the ship know, that the ship is sinking, that it's going down. Eventually the ship is going to go under. And each successive captain, Yellen, Powell, Bernanke, we can go back as far as you want, Volcker, you know, each of them were captains of these sinking ships, which are fiat currencies, which this is your sinking ship right here. Where is it? There's your sinking ship. Boom, it's going down right there, okay? And each of them are captains of this sinking ship. But you know what? I'm realizing the dollar is more about propaganda and bullshit. There's a lot of things that are propaganda in our lives, but propaganda and bullshit. It's all about keeping that ship afloat as long as possible, even if it means that you're neck deep in water. And we're actually probably neck deep in water or chest deep in water right now, and that's what the Fed does. The Fed spokespeople, the Fed are out there, as long as the government as well, hey, listen, everything's okay, folks. Say, yeah. Hey, enjoy the dip. It's just a little bit of water in the ship. Don't worry about it. But that's the job of the Fed, is just to smooth things over until ultimately it sinks, because it will, and they know it. Oh, man, all right. I don't want to go there. It sounds negative, but it's true. And this is why you want to own gold and silver. Because why? Because that line will be inverted right there. Where are gold prices? There's your gold prices. So the more they print, the higher this number is going to go. And there's choppy action in between here, but if you smooth this chart out over time, it's just a smooth, long line. The closer you look at the chart, the more choppy it gets. Let's take a look. That's all years. Let's just look at 10 years. There's your chart. Chart gets even more choppier. You see what I'm saying? But all years, if you smooth it out, well, if you smooth it out throughout history, it's a lot smoother than that. But this is the ultimate price of gold. You see my cursor? This is what gold's going to do. I'm going to simulate my own line. Ready? There you go. It's always going to be choppy, but the overall trend word is always going to be up. And on fiat currencies, and the number one fiat currency out there, as the dollar index points out, is always going to do this. Look, that line is not as choppy, but the downward trend. All right, where we go from here? Good article on GATA.org. I recommend that you take a look at. Gold vaulted at Bank of England. And not a good article, it's by Bloomberg News. Good propaganda article. Gold vaulted at Bank of England trades at rare discount and a hint of central bank selling. And I believe, first off, when it comes to Bank of England, they've done everything wrong when it comes to gold markets. They can't even run a good gold market out there. And maybe, again, UK is very invested, the Bank of England is very invested in these sanctions against Russia, okay, and China probably coming up soon. Russia and China are heavily laden with gold. They've been buying it for years, buying their own supply, and there's reasons they've been doing that, because Europe and the US have been weaponizing our money, weaponizing our financial system, and they saw the writing on the wall. They knew they had to get out and create their own system, otherwise they were screwed, and that's what they've done. So, Bank of England and the United States and the Feds and all these, probably not the Fed, because again, remember, the Fed's pretty smart, central bank. All they're worried about is their own pockets. They're not worried about Russia, surviving or not surviving. It just depends on what fills their pockets. But no less, UK has a vested interest in seeing Russia not win this conflict, and the truth is I believe they already have, and they've got the entire ports down in the south. They're going to move all the way into Odessa, but I'm not going to go into a political report here. Just say I follow this very closely, and I look at both sides. The power of gold and silver for Russia and China is going to be, huge. All right. So why not try to take the price down, the price of gold down, which maybe we've been saying. Maybe the price of gold being slammed down has been the result of central bank selling and the result of central banks and governments trying to knock the price down gold to try to hurt Russia and China some way. I don't know, speculation on my part, but I would say that the Bank of England, if they were selling any gold, it's probably not their own. The bullion has slipped more than 12%. There you go. That's typical. Bloomberg article. Bullion has slipped more than 12% since peaking in March. But of course, the stock market. When they're talking about the stock market, Bloomberg is. Well, we had a dip of 1,000 points the other day, but gold has slipped. All right, never mind. That's why I can't stand Bloomberg in some of these articles. But let's take a look at an article I'm really impressed with. I cannot read it to you guys. I really hope you read this stuff. ZH on Zero Hedge. Type in von Greyerz, gold as cheap today as in 1971. I've got to agree with that. I think Egon von Greyerz, I'm sorry, I hack his name up all the time, and I apologize there, Egon. I hope I got your name right there. Wrote a great article, and actually I got that quote at the beginning of the show from him. Poverty papers, poverty that goes to money and not money himself. To give credit where credit is due. I like that, so I shared it with you guys. But I'm sharing this article with you because he nails it, man. And I've read some of his stuff. If I lived in the same town as goldswitzerland.com, I'd go over and buy all my gold from him. And of course, I believe that you should buy local first, don't buy online. But I love their stuff online. I love their articles here. Up here, another quote by Thomas Jefferson, specie, gold and silver coin, quotation, or parentheses, the most perfect medium because it will preserve its own level, because having intrinsic and universal value, it can never die in our hands, and it is the surest resource of reliance in time of war. Probably why we saw that spike up in the price of gold. A lot of people going in, buying it. And probably in Europe and Russia and Ukraine, people buying gold over there, big lots of it. They got their rich people too. That's what probably drove the gold prices up at first, and drove it a little bit out of the control of the people that I believe control it. But let's move along here. I highly recommend you read it. It's too long. We'd be here for 45 minutes if I read this one to you. But I do want you to see it, and I want you to kind of read it over, guys. I won't call it homework because homework sucks. No one likes homework. But I will say it's Brian's suggested reading for the day. This gentleman writes really well. He writes better than I can talk. But if I could write, I think I'd be exactly writing the same stuff this gentleman does. I mean, we're on the same page. All currencies are continuing to lose value against real money, although it never takes place in a straight line. With higher interest rates and inflation, higher deficits, debts, poverty, costs of wars, increasing pressures in the financial systems, the currency debasement will now accelerate. And again, just right out of the box, he talks about something that we've been talking about for 2 years now. And also down here, gosh, it's like a brother from another mother that can write way better than I can. Gold is not an investment. Gold is eternal money. As much gold maintains its real value, whereas paper money loses all its value over time. For 5,000 years, gold has outlived all other forms of money, including paper money. If I didn't know better, he's listening to my videos. I'm telling you, this is a brother from another mother. If I could write stuff, and this is why I really want you to read this here. Cryptos have become a cult. He's got a lot of his opinions in here, but I got to tell you, if him and I were sitting at a dinner table having dinner and drinks, him and I would got to be talking this stuff over and over. We'd be on the same page. And in fact, he talks about some things that I actually learned some things from him as well. Listen, folks, I could scroll down here and make most of you seasick and try to read some of this, but I really, really suggested reading for the day. Good article by Mr. Egon von Greyerz at Via Gold Switzerland. So you can either put that in your search engine right there, or just go to Zero Hedge. I believe you can read it for free on Zero Hedge and his site. Well, let's take a look at yesterday's video. 132 silver, as most of you know. When you watch my videos, you see that it's just alluding to the, as we just talked about, the inflation-adjusted price of silver, okay? And here we go. Let's take a look at some comments from yesterday and see if I can answer a few things. And then we'll head out and enjoy the rest of our day. Here, close your eyes if you get seasick. There you go. Going down to the bottom. Man, a lot of comments too, man. I'm not going to be able to acknowledge everybody here today just because I've got a lot of comments to. Boy, I remember when I used to get like 2 comments. It was so easy. Thank you, all you folks right here. I'm going to just kind of circle your names. And temporary, what's up with PC? I missed, what did I do? PC disclaimer. I'm often apologetic because I don't like to offend people or bother people, but I'm not really a PC per se. I'm just respectful of other people's beliefs and opinions most of the time. Thanks for watching, Temporary. Heart of Texas, what's up? Oh, here I go. I said I wasn't going to say everyone's name, but here I go. Yeah, they want the price to rise. I believe so. And just keep adding, Dario. I believe that 100%. And the only thing rising, interest rates and the threat of more hikes. I believe they'll have to crank out more dollars. Yeah, they're going to have to crank out more dollars. I believe that I was talking about that earlier, man. I think they're stuck in a hard place. The Fed's going to have to raise rates at some point. Not raise rates, they're going to have to lower rates because, I don't know, what's important to them? I don't know. Lowering inflation, ruining the stock market. All these things seem to go counter to each other. I think that we're getting closer to the water level on our Titanic being closer to our neck here, folks. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, the boomer I want to be. Thank you, man. That's. I was looking at that picture and seeing those boomers having a great time, pouring each other a glass of wine. I'm saying, if I'm going to be a boomer, that's the one I want to be on that page. But you have to watch yesterday's video to get what we were talking about. I don't think there's any Morgan dollars over MS68. If so, very few. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Yeah, 60 Morgan dollars are pretty common up to the grade of around 6 for PCGS. NGC may be a little bit looser on their standards. Some people say that when it comes to higher grades. But on PCGS, I would say at one point that once you get up into 7s and 8s, they get quite a bit rare. 7s not so much. I forget what 7s are worth right now. I mean, for common dates. Once you get up into 68 and 69, even the common date silver dollars get super rare. and rightfully so. I mean, a 68, 69, 70 would indicate that the thing is near perfect. 70 is near perfect, actually, but I don't think I've seen a 70 from PCGS. I don't even think they've made one. But 68s and 69s, a 69 Morgan dollar, even a common date, I can't even imagine what that's worth out of a PCGS holder. Big bucks, I'm sure. Thanks for watching Heart of Texas. Appreciate that. Being well spiritual is important. No argument about that. Everyone be well. Thank you, Wilco. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yesterday's quote was, I forget what it is now. You don't get old and lose your memory. That's what yesterday's quote was. Keep stacking. It's only a matter of time. Agree. At one point, does Americans realize they need to buy silver and gold? Very small percentages watch gold and silver videos. A very small percentage of people own gold and silver, folks, especially in the physical form. I mean, way smaller than you realize, all right? We are a rare percentage of folks out there that are buying and selling gold and silver coins. A rare percentage. Joey, what's up? Take a look at those sergeant majors. You confused me on this thing and everything. Maybe my syntax wasn't correct, putting it and everything with my sergeant majors there. Sorry about that. 82 Sasquatch, thanks for watching. See, look, I'm apologetic for having bad grammar or bad syntax. But you know what? It makes me think about it. So I like being corrected. Makes me a smarter person. You're never going to get smart hanging out with people that you agree with all the time or never correct you. Chad, yeah, 100%, man. Great sovereigns, French 20 francs, Swiss 20 francs, great deal on them. Got a great deal on them here in my store, Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. By the way, I advertise to beat JM Bullion, APMEX Bullion, the SD Bullion. We're the local place to go to in South Florida, here in South Florida. And if you live in South Florida and you're buying gold and silver, precious metals, anything to do, and platinum and palladium, obviously, and you also do rare coins or paper money, and or we even have state jewelry and silver and all that other stuff. Come see us. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. And again, I advertise to be APMEX, JM, and SD Bullion. What's the best deals out there? I didn't get into the best deals because I'm in the middle of answering YouTube questions. But the best deals are the same thing, folks. Generic products across the board. Sovereign coins, too much money. Same thing with gold. Sovereign coins, too much money. Best thing is generic 100-ounce bars, kilo bars, 10-ounce bars, and 1-ounce bars. And you can say the same thing about gold pretty much as well. So I'll leave it at that. But if you want to get into more detail, watch the other 400 videos I've done in the last, the last 200 videos, which would indicate almost a year's worth of videos, and nothing's changed. It's the same stuff I've been recommending, folks. So forgive me for not putting up that screen today. Let's finish off the rest of this, hang the traders. Oh boy, let's make a video guessing the future spot price to manipulate people, really. I think, Tyson, if I get that wrong, I think you're assuming that I was saying that the price was going to be $132, and I do believe it will. I do believe it'll go past it at some point. But what the thumbnail was, if you watch the video, was the thumbnail was about the inflation-adjusted price according to the official numbers, which I showed you a little bit ago. So if you watched the video, if you missed that, sorry about that. I guess you missed what I was talking about on the thumbnail. Hey, thanks for watching, Tyson. Have a nice day. BS Detective says in 132 months. Oh, no, it's 130. Oh, there I go. I had to know it's a reference to inflation. Oh, I had to comment that. And what did he say? A joke. What is wrong with this? No one can take a joke. Of course I can take a joke. I figured it was kind of a joke. You look like a joking kind of guy. I can't see who that is. Is that the Jeffersons guy? I can't tell the guy from the Jeffersons. I figured that. Thanks for commenting and watching. And truthfully, thanks for commenting and watching, BS Detective. I appreciate that. And I think China and Russia want gold prices to remain low as they're still accumulating. That's possibilities then. Again, thanks for watching, and I appreciate you commenting as well. By the way, I love all your comments. I notice a lot of you guys answer each other and talk with each other, which I think is really smart. You can learn a lot from talking with other people, and I learn a lot from watching you guys. Andrew says, until that time is going to, yeah, I think you're right there, Andrew. 9 scariest words in the English language. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Ronald Reagan said that. I think that is a Reagan quote, I believe. Very cool. 1350. Wow, pretty young age you started. Yeah, $15 an ounce. Yeah, I started stacking when silver was, or my first silver coin and bar was, silver was like $1.50 an ounce. I think I paid $1.50 for a silver dollar. I thought that was cool. Gold is mine, so there will be a floor. Thanks for that comment. Nobody minds the loss. That's true, Mark. Good point there as well. Plus, we've had, mines were shut down for a year or more, so we're mints. 130 minus 122. Yeah, there's another. I know, it's a joke. I'm laughing. Ha ha. Thanks for watching, Jeremy. Appreciate it. Glenn says, what's your recommendation on 1 ounce gold bars or coins? My recommendation, again, is what I said in almost all my videos, is stick with 1 ounce gold bars right now. You should be able to pick them up for the gold price plus $90 or less. Again, if you live in South Florida, I will beat APMEX-JM and SD Bullion on those things. Coins, a little more pricey. You would avoid them if you could on gold. Although, you know, if you're stuck on buying gold coins, Eagles aren't too horribly priced. They were higher at one time. As far as silver, all the sovereign products in silver just suck. The premiums suck. You know, I hate to say it, but, you know, and I'll beat the prices on the guys on sovereign products, but my recommendation is 1 ounce bars, 10 ounce bars, hundreds and kilos, and silver. That's your best deals out there. Thanks for watching, Glenn. And what do you think about silver 40% Ikes? I think, you know, they're going to get discounted, but you know what? At this point, with the premiums you're paying on a lot of silver coin and stuff, why not? As long as you're not paying too much for a premium for 40%, why the hell not? $1 or $2 an ounce over at most. I think you're okay. The stock market, yeah, all markets are rigged. Elections are rigged. Our lives are rigged. Everything's rigged in our life. And, you know, of course the game is rigged, right? That's the saying I talk about all the time. Robert Heinlein said, of course the game is rigged, but if you don't play, you can't win. And what's the secret of winning? Well, it's you know that saying, when you can't spot the sucker at the poker table, you're the sucker. Well, the idea of winning is not being the sucker at the poker table. And how do you do that? Well, you learn how to tell who is the sucker. All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate that. Gary, yeah, Siri had a bottle of wine. Yeah, and she never talks back. Never get in arguments or anything like that. Like the robot wives of the future. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of single guys out there with these perfect wives that never talk back. They're going to be robots. Terrible, isn't it? You know, like I said, you never learn from people you don't argue with, and that includes your wives and your girlfriends and the people you love around you. Wine Day, hey, I'm looking forward to that. And what else is going on? Britain went off the gold standard in 1930s. Thank you, Silas. Appreciate that. Binary Happiness says, "Wow, you're at war with us." I think the way I read this, you're from Russia. No, we've been. Listen, if you're Russian Binary Happiness, I think Russian people and Americans really get along well. I think when it comes to our governments suck kind of, and I got to be honest with you, I'm not too fond of my government. I'm not sure how you are with yours, but I am definitely not pro-Ukraine, and I'm not really pro-Russia. I think Ukraine, the people of Ukraine, like in every country that has war, Syria, you name it, it's proxy. You know, it's a proxy war. Look at Syria. Syria really is a war using weapons of American weapons and using Russian weapons, but using Syrian blood and Syrian territory to use up these old weapons for the military-industrial complex can create more of them, okay? It's a great place to use up weapons and try to create more power and money for yourself. But I'm getting long-winded into it. We have been at war with Russia, proxy wars up until what? Cuba, Vietnam, where was it? You know, Panama, maybe even, I'm not quite sure before that. But once we started getting along with the Russians, everything was fine until the Obama administration, I hate to say. Once we got involved with the Obama administration, all of a sudden the Russians were enemies again, and we were going into Syria, Libya, and all these nasty, all right, never mind. All right, I digress. Thanks for watching, I appreciate that. And gold and silver have beaten death and are holding on to their most basic existence. Not true, they're not holding on to their existence. This is the cycle of manipulation, man. It goes up, it goes down, and if they can't drive it down, they're not gonna make any money, but if it doesn't go up, they're not gonna make any money. And it'll be set free at some point. I agree with that, MFB. And thanks for watching. I appreciate that. Cherokee Collectibles. What's up? Thank you very much. And oh, there it is. Cleanest dirty shirt in the laundry. Absolutely. I like that term. Hey, Chris, what's going on? Inflation just so one thing about Chris. Where's the 22 Hunt brothers? Well, the 2022 Hunt brothers, where are they? It's probably JP Morgan. I know I'm going to get rocks thrown at me for that. Thanks for watching, Chris. And there's some other ones there. Hey, thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate it. I don't have an Elon Musk brain either. Everyone is an expert in one thing or a couple things, but then again, there's some things that we're just pure dumbass in. Like I had to have my friend come and help me uninstall some blinds because, you know, I went up stripping screw. I mean, I don't know. And he's brilliant at that. So, and other things too. I mean, there's things that I can't wrap my head around. Certain types of math I can't wrap my head around. But I have friends of mine that can do it, and they can't do what I do. And anyways, everyone has their expertise, and everyone has their shining moments of dumbassery, including myself. Keep stacking, Chris. Hey, definitely too, Chris, when you come by, make sure you see me on your trip to Key West. Once you get to Key West, I love that trip from Homestead down to the Key West. What a beautiful drive on a nice day. And make sure you stop by Robbie's when you do that as well. Robbie's Marina to feed the tarpon. Platinum is becoming more and more intriguing. Thanks, Brian. Hey, T, what's up, dude? I agree with that 100%. Appreciate that. And by the way, T the Stacker, here, I'm going to click this right here. Hopefully I can click back. Runs his own page. There it is, T the Stacker. He's got a lot of subscribers as well, and I can see why. Super friendly guy, talks to a lot of other coin shops and stuff. So hey, what's up, T? Thanks for commenting, appreciate that. And I did a video for T one time as well on his site, because again, he does a lot of interviews with other stackers or videos, other dealers, I'm sorry. Walter, I lost my place here, so here we go. Headline of $100 silver is responsible. Rocky, I didn't say $100 silver is 1 ounce can't even come in. What I did say is that inflation adjusted is $132. And really, though, it's not irresponsible. Rocky, just have faith. You're going to see well over $100 silver at some point. It's just not happening when we want it to happen. And of course, nothing happens exactly when you want it to happen. If it did, we'd all be rich. Walter, love Constitutional. That's good to hear, as long as you can buy it for a reasonable level. But I think Constitutional is running for spot plus $6 or $7, kind of on the crazy side. Michael, yeah, I know what you're saying there, man. Just stick with stacking and then buy something else pretty. You know what I mean? For me, I would be like stacking gold and silver bars, and the money I save not buying the sovereign products like Silver Eagles or silver maple leafs or those kind of things. The money I'd save in that, I'd go buy myself a nice fishing rod or something, or maybe a new fish for my aquarium or something. That'd be more fun. Oh, there's T again. All right, listen. I'm going to call it quits here. This is Brian Kuzmar, and of course, my theme and quote for the year is think for yourself and question authority. I think this is a very, very important quote to share with other people as well. And how's the best way to question other people? Well, first question yourself. Question your own narrative, what you believe, because it may not be your own. It may be something that you were taught. And I always like to go over my own belief system and say, if you can question your own belief system, then you can do, if you can do that well, and learn some things and even admit you're wrong on some things, then you can certainly do a good job looking at other people and questioning authority for sure. Hey, thanks for watching. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call us anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays. Happy to help you out. We're the place to go to in South Florida when it comes to precious metals. Remember, we're brick and mortar only, so if you don't live in South Florida, please find yourself a good local dealer and keep that money local. That's the reason I say that, not because APMEX, JM, or SD are bad companies, and I don't want you to do business with them, but I'd rather see you keep that money local. And if you have a good local dealer like myself, then you don't have to worry about ordering online. You can do it right in your own neighborhood, and you get good advice. Hey, talk to you later. Have yourself a good day. Bye now.